Hi guys, this is the V, and today we're going to be taking a look at another one of my 1/18 scale diecast cars. So the car we're going to be reviewing today is the Lamborghini Reventon, made by Mondo Motors. This is one of my newest additions to my collection, as well as the third Lamborghini diecast car I own, after the Mazda Murcielago LP640 and the Willys Gallardo LP560. So the Lamborghini Reventon was launched in 2007 on Frankfurt Motor Show. It is a special limited edition car based on the Murcielago. So actually, a lot of its technical parts were carried on from the Murcielago, including the engine. So it actually hardly differs in performance. Although its all-new design make it look completely different from the Murcielago. The design is said to be inspired by some fast planes. That's why at its launch trailer it was seen racing some jet planes, although it ultimately lost. In real life, this is actually a very rare car. There is only 21 to be made, one for the Lamborghini Museum and 20 to be sold to the public for around $1.5 million each. So it was actually the most expensive Lamborghini road car until 2010, until Sesto Lamento took its title with $2 million price tag. Of course, now Veneno Roadster has a price tag of $4.8 million, so but still Reventon is a very expensive and rare car overall. So let's go ahead and take a look at the diecast car itself. Actually, I've always wanted a Reventon because I thought it was one of the coolest cars on the world, primarily because of its aerodynamic design. So I've been always looking forward to having a Reventon. So when I saw this one on the sale in the store, I couldn't resist but buy it. This one is made by Mondo Motors, which is one of the lowest model car making companies, if you can call it like that. It's probably worse than Mazda or Burgo, if they really lack in detail and all of that. But this one, the Reventon, is actually really nice for what it's worth. It's unlike most Mondo Motor cars. It's actually quite good. But of course, it lacks detail compared to other models. So anyway, here's the front, and I think well, although overall it looks okay, the finishing on this car is not that great. Not to mention the car looks a little bit unbalanced. It doesn't really look very real. It doesn't really look like a real Reventon for some reason. And but overall it's quite well made. And I really love the paint they used in this car. This kind of metallic gray. It's really similar to the actual Reventon color. The headlamps are surprisingly well made for a Motormax. They don't have pegs in it, although the plastic used in it makes the car look like a toy. So, anyway, I was quite satisfied with the headlamps. The grills used are of course all blocked in one piece of plastic, and I wasn't even expecting it to be opened on this one. They tried to imitate the carbon fiber down here with different type of plastic, but it's worse than that of the Mazda actually. Let's take the car to the side. And actually I'm quite satisfied with this car side. I think this one even looks better than the Burgo Reventon. One thing you might notice is that the stance up here is a little bit more higher than that of the rear end, so it kind of gives an SUV stance like the Rastar on Bugatti Veyron, but it's not that serious. And yeah, it's anyway, there's an SUV stance. One of the things that ruined this car side, although I really like it overall, is this light right here. They painted it on, making it look completely cheap and like a toy. One of the things I like to compliment about in this car is the rims. I just love the Lamborghini Reventon rims, and although it's not the best, it's not the worst either. They did an okay job, and it doesn't look too much like a toy like a Rastar or some of the other Motor Max or Mondo motor cars. This plastic from the front trying to imitate carbon fiber. And the side mirrors for some reason look very, very cheap, even though they're just made out of plastic. So anyway, so as you know, the Lamborghini Reventon has scissor doors opening like this, like most Lamborghinis, including the Murcielago. One of the interesting things about this door is that there's a plastic window right here, so it stops the dust coming in. And it feels more stable when you close it and open it. Like, it's more stable than my other cars. For example, my Maisto Murcielago, if you just hit the door slightly, the door falls off and the door closes. But on this one, that doesn't happen. It's more stable, so that's why I like it. I think they really did a good job on the doors. You can get a pretty good view inside the interior, which I really like because most of the cars, they get a terrible door angle so you can hardly see inside the car. But luckily this one gets a pretty good interior view actually. Although it's quite simple and there's not much fancy details in it. It's good for a Mondo Motors car. They did a good job on the seats and on the dashboard. It's as good as a standard Maisto car, so I'm okay with it. Overall, I thought the side of this car was pretty satisfactory, considering what it's worth. So let's take the car to the back. And actually, the rear end of the Reventon is the part I like the most. In fact, I prefer Reventon's rear end to the Aventador's rear end because I think it just looks more cool with all these lines here. It kind of looks like the Egoista too. Now, one of the things I'm not happy about is that they used black sticker to do the Lamborghini emblem right there. But the funny thing is, they have the same emblem down here, only in bigger size, same paint on the license plate. So it kind of looks weird. You see Lamborghini here and again here. So maybe they were better off writing Reventon here, or another license plate. But I think this is a little bit weird, considering they're in the same print. Now, the rear lamps here, like the front lamps, I think Mondo tried their best, but of course it's not the best also. The grills down here are basically the same as the ones up in the front. But one of the things that really disappointed me was the mufflers right down here. Unlike Mazda, which they put at least the least amount of effort into it, they showed no effort into doing the mufflers. It's terrible. So that's the part where I was quite disappointed of. And the red light right here, they painted it on, giving it a really terrible look. I mean, this car is done in a dark color, gray, and even the rims in the interior are in dark color. So they should have been more careful to paint this thing on just like red. It's very unrealistic. They should have used a dark red plastic, but then again, this is a Mondo car. The engine compartment opens, which is quite interesting because Mondo cars don't usually have all opening features. They usually have doors and engine room or doors and trunk. But like I said, this one is quite well made for a Mondo. This one has both the trunk and the engine room opening, which is one of the reasons I actually bought this car in the first place. Although its engine room does open, the detail inside the engine is not all that good. The plastic you can see down here look very, very cheap, and you can see they just connected this part to that part right there, so it's very, very simple. Not to mention, the Lamborghini engine right here is not so realistic overall. Well, then again, you can't really expect much from Mondo Motors, but this one was quite disappointing compared to my other Lamborghini cars. And the funny thing is, when I put this thing next to my Maisto Murcielago, despite both of them using the same platform, this one seems much more smaller when I put it on the shelf. For example, what I mean is that when the Murcielago touches the back, the Reventon still has a few centimeters left. So strangely, this Reventon is quite small in terms of size. And another thing that you might want to know about this car, it's very light. Some people might think this is good, but actually it's not that good because it means they put less amount of effort and detail into the car itself. When I bought the Early Gallardo, I was surprised by its lightness, but this is this is so light. It's like light as on a standard RC car, so was quite surprised there either. So my overall ratings in this car, I think this is quite good for a Mondo, and like I keep saying throughout the video, it's quite good for what it's worth, but the finishing on the car is not all that great. Not to mention, it looks kind of unbalanced, if you can call it like that. It doesn't really look very real, and it kind of gives a toyish look. It just looks weird when you just look at it, up from the front especially. Well, but for me, which Altor was way too expensive and the Burger version was sold out, Mondo's was an only choice to get the Reventon. And although I'm not really happy with it, I think it is an okay toy to appreciate the car Reventon itself. So that's it, the Mondo Motors Lamborghini Reventon review. I have many more new diecast cars added to my collection, so I'll be making reviews about them soon. Be sure to click like and subscribe, and thank you guys so much for watching, and goodbye.